war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it. And I will always be there.
The X-Men are a group of social outcasts with awesome powers. They're like a big dysfunctional family, but here the father figure's actually not absent.
What do they call you? Wheels?
That's right, there are tons of things going on with the X-Men, but one thing that's rock solid is the person who holds the entire group together, Charles Xavier, aka Professor X. Now let's focus on the guy who finds struggling mutants and gives them a safe haven in his academy. So today we're going to look at the top 10 moments of Charles Xavier that were nothing short of amazing.
You're not the only one with gifts.
Where are you going? He's over there.
What are you doing over here?
At number 10, the Professor introduces Logan. Imagine Wolverine, a rough, beer-chugging, cigar-smoking, cynical brute who's grown weary of humanity's treatment of others. Now, how will you convince someone like that to believe in humanity and the greater good? Basically, all you need are 3 minutes and Charles Xavier. Patrick Stewart channels his Captain Picard persona and sets about a tone of calmness and reassurance that tames even the Wolverine.
It's been almost 15 years, hasn't it? Living from day to day, moving from place to place, with no memory of who or what you are.
He's actually an alpha-level mutant who can possess and alter people's perceptions of reality and is one of the most powerful telepathists in the world. He goes straight inside Logan's head and his multiple voices walk Logan through how the Academy came into being and exactly what it does. This is one of the earliest instances of Professor X showing what he's capable of, not just as a powerful mutant, but also as a good mutant who believes in the goodness of people.
I give you my word that I will use all my power to help you piece together what you've lost.
Welcome, Professor.
Welcome to Cerebro.
Next up is using Cerebro. Charles Xavier is a walking weapon of mass destruction. Well, not exactly walking, more like moving. But hey, he's also the guy who has everything under control. Like the moment when he uses Cerebro to amplify his already powerful telepathic power to find more and more fragile mutants in the world.
This device amplifies my power, allowing me to locate mutants across great distances.
In this scene, we see the Professor wearing the Cerebro helmet and a huge holographic map in real time appears inside the chamber and the Professor interacts with it. These rare scenes in a movie, the exact moments of great discoveries, really leave a mark. Suffice to say, this time too, the Professor left us awestruck.
Is at the train station.
Where is it?
A few miles west of here.
Why do you come here, Charles?
Why do you ask questions which you already know the answers?
Yes. Your continuing search for hope.
Coming in at number 8 is chess time. It isn't possible to list the best Professor X moments without including a few with Magneto. At the end of X-Men, Magneto's imprisoned inside a glass chamber because, you know, metal is his best friend. Eric has first-hand experience of how bad humans can be, and Charles wants to look past the surface to find the actual goodness in them.
Doesn't it ever wake you in the middle of the night? The feeling that someday they will pass that foolish law, or one just like it.
The whole clash of perspectives are shown in this tension-ridden scene. Charles and Eric sit in front of each other and constantly try to one-up each other with an exhilarating chess game and talk about their opposing worldview regarding mankind. It doesn't get any better than this. Well, I mean, it actually does. Just seconds after putting Eric in a checkmate, a guard takes the Professor away and Eric warns him that a war's coming and he will fight it. And guess what? Charles gives the most epic reply ever.
And I will always be there. Old friend.
My name is Charles Xavier. I'm a mutant, like you.
I can hear your thoughts.
Yes, and I can hear yours.
Up next we have Professor the Savior. One of Professor X's greatest strengths isn't his supreme telepathic power, but the symbol of hope that he represents for the young, insecure mutants. The scene in focus comes right at the end when the young mutants are running away from Stryker's grasp. The mutants are injured and scared as they fight against Stryker's people, and when they're finally out in the garden, a jet lands. Lo and behold, a young Professor Xavier comes out and talks to Scott by telepathy.
We'll be all right, Scott.
He reassures him of everything, rescues all the mutants, and takes them under his fold. He was seen walking in this scene, which is a continuity error, but one logical explanation can be that the Professor never came out of the plane and just used a holographic image of himself.
You're safe now. Come, we have to go.
Come on.
At number 6 we have Seizure. Logan was one of the most rugged and real stories that came out of the X-Men universe. We didn't meet the heroes, but the broken humans behind them, and one of them is Professor Xavier. Charles is really old here, and with his buddy Logan by his side, he's riding off into the sunset.
Logan, it's yours.
What? I'm not gonna worry now. Just in the room. We'll get changed in the room.
Charles is cranky, he's childish, and out of control. In this scene, Charles and Laura are trapped in a hotel room with guns and goons, and Xavier's brain disease results in him going through an uncontrollable seizure. This leads to an explosion of untapped telekinetic waves that freeze everything around it. We all see the people in the hotel frozen and attacked by powerful vibrations. Logan and Laura's regenerative strength helps them, and they somehow struggle through to inject Xavier with an anti-seizure serum. And we're back to the irresistible duo of Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Hey, no hard feelings for James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender fans. Days of Future Past is predominantly a grim movie. The Sentinels can mimic all kinds of mutant power and tactics, which make them potent mutant killers. In this scene, Sentinels are on the verge of wiping out all of the X-Men. They've killed most mutants, including Storm. Also, the invincible Magneto is fatally injured. Blink teleports him to the chamber where Kitty Pryde is holding Logan in one piece back in the 70s, and Professor X is just waiting beside them. An injured Magneto returns, and the old pals sit face to face, seconds away from their impending death. In the most vulnerable moment, as he lay dying, Eric talks about the futility of the war and how he regrets his fight with Charles and the deaths he's caused over the years. Charles listens to his brother from another mother and his sworn enemy, and just places his hand on him to reassure him.
You did it.
Did what? Logan, don't you have a class to teach?
A class to teach.
History.
Next up, we have the Professor meeting Logan. As we've already discussed here, in Days of Future Past, the Sentinels are better than X-Men in every single way. So Logan goes back to the 70s to stop the Sentinel program to prevent them from coming into existence. Mystique changes her stance and ends up saving the President, which eradicates the Sentinels altogether in the present time and also alters the past.
I think the history I know is a little different.
Welcome back.
It's like a reset button that changed everything that happened in the X-Men movies so far. Logan wakes up in the X-Mansion without remembering anything. He sees Charles and is confused about everything. It just takes a second for the Professor to realize what's happened, and he welcomes Logan to this new world. You don't expect anyone to retain the memory of the sudden shifts in history, but to our disbelief, even time couldn't go past one person, and that person is Charles friggin' Xavier.
I had a promise to keep. You and I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
Charles, you okay?
There's someone else out there.
At number 3, Charles meets Eric. This was the first time a young Eric meets a young Charles, and this is the first time Eric learns that he's not alone in this world. So Eric's drowning in water and Shaw's submarine is running away. Eric doesn't really like Shaw because killing a child's mother in front of him isn't the best way to gain affection. But no matter how powerful a mutant you are, controlling a big submarine underwater when you're almost dying is kind of a suicide mission.
Let it go! You have to let it go!
Charles tries to stop him, but angry Eric is, well, pretty angry. So Charles does what he does best, risking his life to save fellow mutants. He jumps in the water, grabs Eric, and goes full telepathic on his mind.
You can't. You'll drown. You have to let go. I know what this means to you, but you're going to die.
Charles speaks inside Eric's head, making him realize that he's not alone and that there are people just like him to help him out. Eric is puzzled with Charles's powers and relents for the time being.
I thought I was alone. You're not alone.
Eric was right. Humanity does this to us.
Not if we show them a better path.
You still believe?
Xavier versus Xavier comes in at number 2. You know, we sometimes forget that great speeches aren't Charles Xavier's actual superpower, and this is that scene. We had to include this one because this is where Charles Xavier's struggling, but with himself. And here he's up against himself.
Charles.
Charles.
Logan's not able to convince a drunk and depressed young Charles to follow through because feeling the pain of 1,000 mutants takes its toll. So he shares his consciousness and he meets the future old Charles. His own future where he's seconds away from getting killed by Sentinels.
Sometimes we all need a little help.
Oh, I'm not the man I was.
Patrick Stewart at his finest delivers an Oscar-worthy performance. The old Xavier meets the young Xavier and makes him believe in himself. The power they have shouldn't be wasted in X-Mansion. This 2-minute scene is beautifully choreographed and emotionally gut-wrenching. Charles Xavier helps everyone in need, including himself.
Charles, we need you to hope again.
I knew you'd come.
Of course. I've come to bring you home.
I have no home.
Yes, you do.
And taking the #1 spot is Professor X against Jean Grey. This has to be the coolest scene of Professor X. When you have the Phoenix power going on full swing, not many would have the courage to go near it, but Charles Xavier goes straight into Jean Grey's house, and frankly, it's terrifying.
Look what happened to Scott! You killed the man you loved because you couldn't control your power! No, stop it!
Charles has always believed in the goodness of humans and mutants, but there's no stopping when the Phoenix is out, and even a powerful mutant like Professor X can't stand against a Class 5 mutant. He knows that, and he still confronts the Phoenix. He wants to get inside her head to access Jean, but Phoenix doesn't like it.
Stay out of my head.
In a terrifying scene, Phoenix raises hell around Charles and disintegrates him in just a second. Till his last moment, Charles tries to stop Phoenix, and his last words make his sacrifice all too powerful. A heroic sacrifice indeed.
Don't let it control you.
And it wasn't a sacrifice after all. Charles Xavier pulled a prank on us. He's smarter than all of us, and he knew he couldn't stand against the Phoenix's force. In the post-credit scene, we see that he actually transported his consciousness to his comatose twin brother just before his own body was disintegrated by Jean. The Professor coming back from the dead and helloing Moira was the greatest moment ever.
Hello, Moira.
Professor Charles Xavier's moments are always packed with dramatic speeches and an understated note of optimism. So what are your favourite Professor X moments? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to check out our X-Men series of videos. Exercise your free will now and like and share the video with friends and enemies, and subscribe to our channel TV Regent before Professor X makes you do so.